The following public service program is brought to you by the Metropolitan Library System. And now, Read About It with your host, B.J. Williams.
We have a great show for you today, including a talk with author Judith Henry Wall about her latest book, The Surrogate. But first, Ruby Soutier and Julie Ballou would like to talk with you about a cookbook.
Hi, today we're here to discuss Read It and Eat by Sarah Gardner. And the thing that I think about this book is how can you go wrong with a book that has such a great title? And I was not disappointed at all when I opened up the book and the author in her introduction says that she was a literature major in college, but she lost a lot of the respect of her fellow students and her professors because she wanted to discuss when studying Jane Eyre what Oprah would have said about a married man who kept his crazy wife locked up, and that's who Jane was dating. So I knew that I was really going to enjoy this book, and this sets the whole tone of the book, which is not about deep literary analysis, but it's about enjoying books with friends.
I agree. I love the approach of this book. It's very light and fun. I enjoyed just browsing through it. Reading some of the descriptions of the books and the questions to go with them made me want to reread some old favorites or read some books that I hadn't read before. This book's actually set up to be used for book discussions. It's divided by monthly themes, so there's concepts like Valentine's, Irish titles for March, children's classics, wedding, travel, summer reading, banned books, classics. It includes everything from, the Odyssey by Homer to Fast Food Nation. And there's a listing in the back of all the books that are included. It's got a great index. There's a description of each book, which kind of just gives a synopsis and also talks about why she chose that book and what it kind of why it was meaningful to her. It also includes questions for discussion, and there's a variety of questions. Like on Harry Potter, it included questions like, does this promote Satanism, to how do you pronounce Hermione? So just a little bit of everything. And of course, then with each chapter, there are some recipes that are tied to the books that they talk about.
I'm glad that you mentioned the recipes because, discussion groups and literature, that's all great. But let's get down to the nitty-gritty and the recipes, which of course is my favorite part of the book. And I tried several of the recipes. I tried a recipe for Georgia peach bread, which is from Gone with the Wind. I also tried a recipe for wassail punch, which was from an M.C. Beaton novel that was done in December. And then I also tried a fish and chips recipe that was from a Sherlock Holmes Hound of the Baskervilles novel. This book, Read It and Eat, is great for book clubs, and it is available at your public library and perhaps your local bookstore.
Janet Brooks from Material Selection at the Metropolitan Library System is here today. And actually, Janet, you're going to help parents of young children figure out how to pick out books. We've got so many.
Mm-hmm. And it's daunting, a daunting task for parents when they go into a library and they don't know where to start. And this is one place they can start. It's just one tool that we have available to parents, and I think it's a very valuable tool. They can even access this from home, so they can already have their little list ready for when they get ready to come into the library.
Or they can put these books on reserve
and pick it up, so they'll be ready for them. This is, if they log on to our Metropolitan Library webpage, which is metrolibrary.org, and click on log in with their library card number, they'll get this screen. And if you'll notice at the top of the screen are some different things that are on a toolbar. And over on the far right of the screen is the databases. And if they click on databases, it will take them to this where they have a nice assortment of things that they can access. But in the lower right-hand corner, you'll see Reader's Advisory. And if they click on that one, it will take them to two choices. One is a novel list, K through 8, and then novel list. If they're looking for something for themselves, they can go to novel list. But if they want something for their children, they go to novelist K through 8. And so they just click on that, and it takes them to a really nice, pretty web page. And in the left part of the little sidebar, they can enter in an author's name or a title or a keyword, and click on Go, and it will take them to a page that shows them a title of the book, a brief annotation. Then if they want to find a similar book, they can go in and determine what it is about that book that they like. This particular one we were looking at is Goodnight Moon. It's a bedtime book. It's got a bedtime story book. It's about sheep, you know, if your kids like sheep. And so you can click on all these choices, and if you click on this and hit search, it will pull up a whole list of titles that have those similar topics in it. For instance, when we did this selection, there was almost 300 books that had similar storyline. And on each one of them, again, you can just click on what the story is about and just find out all kinds of information about them. I highly recommend that parents use this because it will give them an idea of what they're looking for. Make sure it's age appropriate for the children. They could make sure that they're meeting the needs of their children, either socially or...
Well, they aren't going to bring home a book and have their child say, but I wanted one about ducks, not horses.
Right. And so they could have the child sit on their lap while they do this. Say, you know, what is it that you liked about Goodnight Moon? And let the kid explain to them that, you know, it was this. And then you could click those kinds of things in there and even refine it more and more and more until you get exactly what your children want. No surprises, really an easy tool, and I really hope parents will use it.
Well, I think it is a great thing, and if they don't remember all of this, they can check with their librarian when they're in the library. Thank you very much, Janet, for being with us. Coming up next, we have MJ Vandeventer from the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum. She'll be talking with journalist Joan Gilmore about a book Joan recently read.
Good morning, Joan.
Good morning.
So nice to have you here, and you have a fabulous book you want to talk about, Images of History, and it's a wonderful story about Oklahoma.
It is a truly pictorial, historical story about Oklahoma, and I'm thrilled about the book. I've lived most of my life here, although I was born someplace else, and so many of the photographs in it remind me of the early days when I came, and up to right now, and it's exciting to see the pictures and remember and to find what it was like in 1889 when the land run took place. These pictures are all in what they call the Oklahoman collection, and some of them have been taken by staff photographers who are unidentified. Some have been taken by staff photographers, many of whom I remember, which contributes, I think, to my pleasure of the book.
One of the photographers in the book is your husband.
Well,
Al
yes,
McLaughlin.
as a matter of fact, he has a whole page. It's so exciting. Of course, he was young and skinny then, and I didn't know him, but
And he had
was
dark hair,
beautiful. And he
too.
had dark hair. But he has that. And then Joe Miller, another photographer at the Oklahoman, has the pictures that he took of the cow down in the silo, which you probably don't remember. You're such a youngster.
Oh, thank you very
But
much.
it traces the state and Oklahoma City through these pictures, many of which were sent to the Oklahoman by invitation because it filled out the images of history, and it deals with the Dust Bowl and the agriculture that was so successful, and the oil business which was successful and then wasn't successful and then was successful, and the segregation issue. There's a picture of Clara Looper in there that I was here when that happened, and it was really striking to me because I came from a town where there was no segregation. And so that was an exciting period for me.
And there's some great photographs of the Capitol.
Well, I have to show you the best photograph of the Capitol, and I am sorry to say that my husband did not take it, but it is this one, and it is the
Beautiful.
Capitol.
It is absolutely
It's the
beautiful.
most beautiful picture of the Capitol that I have ever
And it's
ever
taken by
seen.
Steve Sisney.
Steve Sisney, who is still working there
Yes.
at this time. Bless
And
his
we
heart.
should give credit to the authors, I think, and Bob Blackburn.
Bob Blackburn, the executive director of the Historical Society, co-authored the book, and Jim Argo took a lot of the pictures and did the research on the pictures. And it truly is an image of history.
And it's a great coffee table book.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here.
I love it.
Come again.
All right.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Donna Morris, Executive Director of the Metropolitan Library System. 2007 will mark Oklahoma's centennial year. 100 years is a long time, but public libraries have been part of this community since the very beginning. And we're still exactly the same as we've been all along, your primary source for information and entertainment. The delivery methods are different now than in the early days. Today we provide free wireless access, free internet access, DVDs, CDs, free programming for people of all ages, along with the traditional books, magazines, and newspapers. But what hasn't changed is our dedication to helping you find exactly what you need. Librarians continue to be the guides to the up-to-date world of information, and our librarians at MLS are the best in the business. So visit your neighborhood MLS library soon, and as they say in the world of libraries, come check us out.
Coming up next, Doug Benton will be talking with Jim Nimmo about one of the CDs you can check out at your library.
Hi everybody, I'm here with Jim Nimmo once again. Jim, always pleased to have you on the show.
Thank you. Those cards and letters really pay off, don't they?
Yes, they do. Yes, they all come from your family. Yes, but that's all right. I don't even get anything from my family at all. Let's talk about music today.
Okay,
what do you
well,
say?
That's my favorite topic. I can always talk about that. I bring to my segments a theme, and this time I brought the theme of chamber music. And we have some middle period Beethoven string quartets. I say middle period because historians have divided Beethoven's life into a first and second and third period. And his second period seems to be his most productive. And I brought 3 string quartets played by the Takács Quartet. They're Hungarian in origin, but they are in residency at the University of Colorado in Boulder. So they're right here close to the woods, so to speak. And also, they've recently added a new viola player. The viola is my instrument, so that particularly appealed to me.
So is the guy any good?
Well, she's a woman.
Oh, all right.
Yes, Geraldine Walther. Yes, she's excellent. So I hope to hear them live in Oklahoma City sometime soon.
See, I was giving you a chance to put a plug in for a job there, but you...
I'm overqualified.
Beethoven's middle period, was he deaf at this point?
Oh yes, he was deaf from about 1799 or so. He was completely deaf, and that's the marvelous thing about Beethoven's music, regardless of whether it's the chamber music or the symphonies, that most of his composing career he was completely deaf, and it was all the inner ear guiding him.
Yeah, I know we always tend to make these people who don't know anything else about Beethoven but that kind of make a big deal out of him going deaf. But you wonder why. I mean, it didn't seem to make any difference unless it's what made the music better than everybody else.
It may have, because he couldn't actually hear it, and he couldn't always comprehend the difficulty of the music that he was writing. Some of it, as a string player, some of it, from my point of view, is very difficult to play in a musical fashion and to disguise the difficulties and to bring out the line of the music and make it all cohere. And perhaps his deafness did contribute to that aspect of the music.
Now, I think Haydn is called the father of the string quartet, isn't he? Well, are there, for people who are familiar with Haydn that maybe don't know Beethoven's quartets as well, is there a great difference between the two?
Yes. The music of Haydn and Mozart is very restrained, I think, in many ways. But Beethoven is also known as the bridge from the classical era to the Romantic era, and Romantic means not with the small r, zipper-ripper sort of things, but with Romantic with a capital R, where it tries to illustrate concepts or ideas, sometimes even paintings or artwork in the music in a way which you don't necessarily have to read about the music, but it's more expansive in a way that classical music is not.
Okay, well, I wish we had more time to talk about
I
this.
can always talk.
I know you can, so we'll have you back.
Okay, great.
All right, we'll talk about something else maybe, but we'll be back.
Yes.
Thanks, everybody.
Coming up next, Callie Rhea will be talking with Ronna Davis about a book for our teens.
Hello,
Hello, thanks for joining us. Today, Ronna Davis from the Edmond Library is here. She's the teen librarian because she enjoys teen literature. She does a lot of other things, but I'm thankful that she's here today. You brought So You Want to Be a Wizard by Diane Duane. Tell me why you brought this one today.
I brought this book, Kelly, because this is exactly the kind of book that I most enjoy reading. Of course, I especially enjoyed reading it when I was a little bit younger, but I also enjoy it now. When I picked it up, it just went just like that. I mean, it took me no time at all to read this book, and of course, that was enjoyable too, because I like to read a lot of books and not just be involved in one. Mm-hmm. So. This book happens to be represent the 20th anniversary of the publishing of this book, and it predated Harry Potter by about 20 years. But the concepts are rather similar, of course, and that involves a wizard, and some of the kinds of plots are very harrowing in it, and so there are a lot of similarities.
Now, the protagonist, I would expect, this to be kind of a boy-driven book, but the main character is a girl.
That's right, which is really good, because girls need wizards to identify with also. And of course, she's a very courageous and brave person, because whenever she's presented with a new situation, she just rises to the occasion. And so she's everything that you would want in a protagonist of either gender.
The cards are really stacked against her in the beginning, and I think that may be what helps the reader be on her side and wish that she can overcome. See, you could tell I'm only through about the first 50.
Right. Well, the beginning is one of the best parts of the book, because it starts out and she's kind of being hounded by these bullies, and she takes refuge in a library, and she finds this book, and the book is So You Want to Be a Wizard, and she says, oh, well, this is, some novel.
This is bunk.
She opens it up, and she follows it, and she finds that it's true.
It's really an exciting book. I've only gotten through the first part of it, but Ronna recommends it, so I bet it's going to be good. It's called So You Want to Be a Wizard by Diane Duane. You can find it at your local bookstore or at your favorite library.
Judith Henry Wall is an Oklahoma author who's been writing highly acclaimed books for many years, and her most recent, it's called The Surrogate, it's about a surrogate. But what made you think of writing a book about surrogacy?
Well, you're always looking for new ideas, and I was wanting to write a more plot-driven book, and wanted to have some reason why this woman was in jeopardy, and I really don't know when it first popped into my head, but the idea of somebody who entered into this project with really good intentions, and then found out that the people that paid her to carry this baby were not people that she'd want any baby of hers raised by. So,
well, one of the lessons I drew from this was, if you're plotting evil, don't have your crazy mom running around loose.
She was an interesting character, Mary Millicent Tutt. I'm not sure where that name came from, but I rather liked it.
Well, the plot is that Jamie, she's a young woman without family. She's got debts because she was looking after her grandmother, so she needs money in a big hurry.
Yes.
And so she agrees to carry a baby and gets whisked off to a ranch in Texas. And things start going south pretty quick, don't they?
Yes, they do. And including the unusual old woman in the attic. But yes, this book explores through this woman's story some social issues, and that's the first time I've done that. I mean, the fact of the abuse of power. There were people with a great deal of power, both politically, and one of the characters was an evangelist, and so it really was about the abuse of power, and also, if it's all right for me to say, it was about what happens when church and state get too cozy with one another. And I really enjoyed that. But basically it was a story about this woman's problems and how she got out of them. And it was quite a tale. I put poor Jamie through a lot of hard times.
You certainly did.
And I want to say that in this book in no way is surrogacy is a wonderful thing, and I kept saying that. In fact, I think I said it too much throughout the book. And even Jamie, in her mind, had no problems with the concept of surrogacy and becoming a surrogate mother. But for her, it did not work.
Well, and there were a lot of reasons. Once she went into it with these great intentions, but as you said, she discovered that power had been corrupting.
Yeah.
And I would say also secret power, because
Yes.
the real, one of the two villains in there is a person who pulled a lot of strings, but he remained hidden.
Yes.
And therefore was never held accountable for anything that he did.
Right.
But I think that he was a little warped right from the beginning,
Right
the
from
way
the
you wrote him.
beginning. Yeah, he really was. And I've never had villainous people in a book before. I've written more about relationships, and it was maybe fun is not the right word, but it was exciting.
Well, you did it very well.
Well, thank you. I have villains in the book I'm working on now. I guess I've turned the corner with my writing. But villains do a lot for a book. And you also have to examine their motives too and figure out where they are coming from. And so in a strange way, you have to understand them, and they become a little more human than just arch villains. And he turned out to be a human being.
Yeah. Well, he was driven by love.
Yes.
I had gotten the impression he just felt that anything done in the service of love was from killing a puppy to killing a person was as long as he did it with love.
Yes.
And you think, ooh, maybe I better think about my motivation for this. So, but you also presented Jamie with a very nice hero, a young man that she had known when she was growing up, and he was happy to become a knight errant and ride to the rescue.
Wasn't he just wonderful? I sort of fell in love with him too.
Well, was he modeled after anybody?
Oh, I don't know. He might have been. One never knows. But I wanted them to get out of it together. You know, I didn't want her to be rescued. I wanted them to do this together, and I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the baby. I loved the baby.
Well, you have a great opening prologue, really, before you get right down to the storytelling, and I thought that just grabbed me right from the first sentence.
That was really the first concept, now that I think about it, of the book, of the idea of the wrong baby being kidnapped and what the implications were. And so literally that was those were, not only is it the first thing in the book, but that was what I wrote to get the story moving and started.
Well, you did, with a real bang, I think.
Thank you.
Now, are you working on something else?
Yes, I am. A as yet nameless book, but it is a more plot-driven book with also the big troubles for my character. I call it Sleeping Dogs, but my editor doesn't particularly like that name. But about 3 young women this time who quite innocently go on a trip, and things go downhill, and they get in big trouble.
Well, we'll have to have you back when the book is published.
I would appreciate that.
Because I've enjoyed The Surrogate very much.
Thank you.
And I want to remind people that you can find it at your library and your favorite bookstore, and we'll look forward to the next one. I know editors are always saying, no, I pick the title. You write the book, I pick the title.
We'll see.
Okay. Well, I hope that you fight the valiant fight.
I'm going to try.
Because Sleeping Dogs sounds kind of intriguing to me. Tell your editor
All right, I'll tell her you said so.
You've tested it and it works just fine.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Judith, for being with
much.
us. And remember, you can go to Judith's website at www.judithhenrywall.com and find out about The Surrogate and all the other books she has written. Remember, you can find these books at your library and your favorite bookstore.
Hi, I'm Donna Morris, Executive Director of the Metropolitan Library System. 2007 will mark Oklahoma's centennial year. 100 years is a long time, but public libraries have been part of this community since the very beginning. And we're still exactly the same as we've been all along, your primary source for information and entertainment. The delivery methods are different now than in the early days. Today we provide free wireless access, free internet access, DVDs, CDs, free programming for people of all ages, along with the traditional books, magazines, and newspapers. But what hasn't changed is our dedication to helping you find exactly what you need. Librarians continue to be the guides to the up-to-date world of information, and our librarians at MLS are the best in the business. So visit your neighborhood MLS library soon, and as they say in the world of libraries, come check us out.
Doug Benton is with me, and that means it's Writer's Almanac time, and you're clutching a piece of paper there, Doug.
I have a couple of writers with birthdays this week. June 21st, 1905 was the birthday of the French existentialist philosopher and writer Jean-Paul Sartre, who believed that all writers should be involved in social issues and that you don't really write for yourself, ever. He was kind of the poster boy for post-war French intellectualism at the end of the war. And June 22nd is one of those big birthdays, 150th anniversary of the birth of Sir Henry Rider Haggard. And I don't know if many people read Haggard anymore. He had kind of a comeback a few years ago. Oh yeah, King Solomon's Mines has been filmed at least 3 or 4 times, I think. His novel She has been filmed a couple of different times. His main hero was an African big game hunter named Allan Quatermain. And I think maybe one of the reasons that we don't pay much attention to Haggard anymore is that people don't like the idea of big game hunting. He hasn't fared as well as pirates have, say, for Robert Louis Stevenson.
Great. Well, June was also a very busy month, historically speaking. In 1865, on June 19th, slaves in Texas discovered that they were freed, which leads to the Juneteenth celebrations that are held in this area. Alaska was purchased on June 20th in 1867. In 1633, Galileo Galilei abjured, cursed, and detested the fact that he had said that the earth revolves around the sun. He was under a certain amount of pressure from a church to do that. Let's see, in 1944, on June 21st, the world found out about Auschwitz and the other death camps. The Japanese also surrendered at Okinawa on that date. On June 22nd, 1772, Great Britain outlawed slavery. On the same day in 1815, Napoleon abdicated from France for the second time.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, it was, just kept going and going. Now, there was also a little battle at the Little Bighorn in 1876, but we all know the outcome of that. You can find out more about all of these things if you go to the website, www.metrolibrary.org. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you again next time.